Hey, so what do you know? It's Tuesday. It's not broiling outside. I got out of work early, so I'm going to continue reading my good buddy Mike Patterson's letter. I can't remember exactly where I left off because I started a video and I was pretty drunk. So I'm going to just pick up where I thought I left off. Kurt took out the last of the Ziploc bag of whiskey, maybe half a pint left, and tried to drink it in a funny way to make us laugh. He ended up spilling it all on his face, shirt, and my car seat. Boy, did it reek of alcohol. Now all booze gone, Kurt had me stop at a 7-Eleven and he went to buy more beer with his fake ID. His ID didn't always work, but this time it did. He came back with two 18 packs of Lone Star. In the meantime, Mike was picking pieces of weed from the floor of the car and the crack of the seat. He had to clean lint, hair, and dust bunnies out of it, but got a few possible joints rolled. Yes, we were back on track, going off the rails. F yeah. The Kerrville Festival took place in a park in the middle of town. There was a parking lot, but they were charging $20 to park. In '96, that was a lot. Luckily, there was street parking, but it was all zoned 2 to 4 hours only. Kurt had a genius idea. He said, "Remember your ticket?" I said, "Which one?" He said, "The parking ticket." I clued into what he was getting at. We parked in a 2-hour zone. Other cars had gotten tickets for parking too long, but they weren't getting towed or booted. Careful to not be seen, I slid the parking ticket from the earlier under the windshield wipers. Diabolical. Score one for the Wettos. Confident that all was well, we shotgunned some beers, smoked a joint, and walked to the festival. I wish I remembered what the festival was, but I should count myself lucky for being able to remember the day at all. Oh, forgot to mention, the jeans had dried from the highway wind. We were in pants again. We went into the concert, and I think it was the Reverend Horton Heat doing his rockabilly thing. We danced to the set High on Life, Youth, and Intoxicants. Eventually, we all agreed we needed to eat. Both Mike and Kurt had to have drank 18 beers at this point. I was catching up to Mike, but Kurt had drank most of a bottle of Jack plus the beers. He was in full blackout mode. We got some sausages on a bun with grilled onions. Kurt had 3. This will come into play in just a bit. Unlike Willie's picnic, this festival had tons of shade from the cypress trees. Also, there was a river, not a creek, running through the venue. Mike and I told Kurt to chill and digest his food. He didn't smoke pot then, so we went down to the river to get higher. When we returned, Kurt was nowhere to be found. I told you he did this a lot at festivals. We were about 2 hours from San Antonio, and I was his ride. I really didn't want us to get to the point where it was time to go and not have Kurt with us. We spent the next hours wandering around looking for Kurt. By this point, it was nearly dusk, and Mike and I were contemplating just leaving him to his wits. Then Mike was like, "Look," and pointed. I looked just in time to see Kurt climbing under the main stage. Kurt is known for making memorable mischief. I started cracking up knowing what would likely happen next. I figured we'd see security kicking him out from backstage. Nope, it was better than that. At the moment, the stage was being used by the Fire on the Mountain Cloggers, a bunch of 60-year-old ladies clog dancing to folk music. From behind the back curtain of the stage, out walks Kurt. Oh my god, I nearly died of laughter. He was behind the dancers and they didn't see him. He was copying their moves, trying to dance and step with them. Pretty quickly, probably from all the cheering Curtis's stunt got from the audience, the ladies turned and saw him dancing with them. Guess what? They loved it, and it went along seamlessly. They brought Kurt up to the front of the stage and their leader interviewed him for the audience. She then showed him a simple clog routine. Kurt nailed it while having his cowboy hat around. While waving his cowboy hat around, excuse me. The whole place went nuts. The ladies thanked Kurt on mic and the audience started chanting, "Kurt, Kurt, Kurt." What a effing legend. At least we knew where he was now. Kurt stumbled off stage and we rushed to gather him up, not wanting him to wander off again. So I'm going to stop it there because I got a lot more to read. But I got some other stuff I want to get to. I don't know what to... I got a comic book I want to review. I guess I'll do that first because I got a package in the mail. Okay, we'll just get to the review. So this review is my buddy Garth. I told him I was going to review a comic book for him. I guess this could be for all dog lovers. But Garth, he really loves dogs, and I know everybody loves dogs. I don't know if everyone has 4 to take care of. So and this is weird because I did not read this for the dog stuff, but it's in here. This is G.I. Joe, a real American hero, number 26. At last, the strangest secret of all. So this is like 26 and 27 are the origin of Snake Eyes. And I didn't look it up, but mine is in it's in okay condition. But this is pretty expensive, and I haven't checked the price now, so I wonder what it costs. So the first page is it says Zartan's Lair, the Florida Everglades, and it's Zartan and Destro with a dog, and that dog is Mutt, who belongs to the Joe junkyard. And so this dog, let's see, junkyard, torpedo, and another Joe. I don't know who he is. They're like out in the Florida Everglades, and like it seems like Junkyard. I mean, yeah, Junkyard has. I keep forgetting that Mutt is the human, and Junkyard is the dog, and Mutt thinks that Junkyard has betrayed him to Cobra. He's like, I raised him from a puppy, and this is the way he pays me back. I tell you, Torpedo, life ain't fair. And then later it says, we can pick up Wild Weasel and Firefly anytime. Right now we should get an accurate account of who's in that shack. And Mutt says, you can put that ingrate Junkyard at the head of the list. And then it gets to it goes to, meanwhile in Spanish Harlem, this like short, fat Asian dude stops a kid from robbing him. And he disarms him. He has a handgun, like automatic. And he takes it, he disarms him, but he gives the kid $50. He's like, hey, you just sold me this gun, thanks. And then you realize that Snake Eyes is there. And then we go to the pit, the G.I. Joe headquarters, and we get Stalker. This black dude who's an Army Ranger. And he tells how he served in Vietnam with Snake Eyes, before he was Snake Eyes, and Storm Shadow, who was just called Tommy, and he says like he had a Japanese name that I couldn't pronounce. And even back then, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, they were like best friends. They were great soldiers. Stalker's no slouch himself, but Snake Eyes had this picture of his twin sister, and he said as long as he kept the picture safe, he would make it through Nam. But then they're like dusting off on a helicopter, and Snake Eyes gets shot, and Storm Shadow goes back and saves him. But like the picture gets all shot up. And then this part is cool. It says Stalker says, I just called the records division at Leonard Wood. Tommy's unpronounceable name, it translates directly into English as Storm Shadow. So this guy that saved Snake Eyes, it's Storm Shadow. Then we go back to the Florida Everglades, and Mutt, he's just still like beside himself. He's like growling, and he's all, that junkyard is leading them right to us. Ought to take a rolled up newspaper to his nose. So it's Cobra Commander, Destro, the Baroness, and Zartan, with Junkyard leading them right towards the Joes. But the Joes are chasing Firefly and Wild Weasel. And then we jump back to Snake Eyes and this guy who's called, I think he's the Softmaster. And he's retelling, he's just repeating Snake Eyes' origin back to him, since Snake Eyes can't talk. He got back from Nam. He was waiting for his family to pick him up, his sister, his parents, and they got killed in a car accident. And Snake Eyes, like, he blamed himself because he like realized that the picture wasn't to keep him safe. Like, he has like a psychic connection with his sister. He realized that he was keeping the picture safe for his sister's safety, and it got messed up, so that's why she died. Then it goes into this whole thing how Snake Eyes, he went to Japan, he joined the dojo of Storm Shadow's family, the ninja clan. He trained, and he became a better ninja than Storm Shadow, which Storm Shadow, I guess he resented a little bit. And then he resents it so much that he killed his uncle, I think he's the hard master. Killed him with a bow, with an arrow. He fired the bow from the arrow. So that's why they're always fighting, because Snake Eyes thinks Storm Shadow killed their uncle. I mean, Snake Eyes wasn't, their real nephew, but he became such a part of the family that it was like his real uncle got killed, and so he's been chasing Storm Shadow this whole time, and that's why I guess Storm Shadow joined Cobra. And then on the last page, back in the Everglades, Wild Weasel and Firefly are being chased by the Joes. Torpedo, it's a landmine guy, I can't remember his name, and Junkyard, and Mutt's, I mean Mutt, the Joe Mutt, Torpedo, and the landmine guy. And Junkyard is leading Cobra Commander, Destro, Zartan, and Baronish right to the Joes, but surprise, Junkyard led them into quicksand. Like, he had a plan the whole time, and Mutt thought he betrayed him. So like, I was reading this, and I was like, this is such a good story. It is. It's an awesome origin about Snake Eyes. I don't know why they couldn't do it in the movie. I mean, yeah, Vietnam or whatever, just change it to whatever war you want, whatever conflict, and put him in it. The art by... Man, the script and the breakdowns are done by Larry Hama. Man, I don't know how, I guess he served in the military, because he knows so much about the military. And finishes by Steve Lealoa. This is just perfect comic book art, perfect storytelling. Snake Eyes is such an awesome character, and so is Storm Shadow. That's them. That's Stalker in the front, Storm Shadow in the middle, and Snake in the back. And yeah, it's just such a good story. Like, I don't know why they didn't just adapt this for the movie. It's just so good. Yeah, this is a 5 out of 5 for storytelling, and there's a part 2 that I'll review maybe tomorrow or sometime soon. But the parts with Mutt and Junkyard and Torpedo and the landmine dude and the Cobras being chased and chasing them, like, I was whenever one story would stop, I would be, damn it, I want to know what's happening with this story. And then I get into the second one, and then that would stop, and I was like, oh no, I don't want this one to stop. So actually, that's like Richard Lehman. He does that too. But man, this is so good. So yeah, 5 out of 5 for storytelling. I'm gonna look how much this cost. I know they did collections. I'm sure you can get them, but everything costs. Anything that is even halfway like notable or people think is cool, people charge out the nose for it. So I got a package that I'm gonna open from another good buddy, Stan Bowman, from Springfield, Missouri. Let's see what I really wasn't expecting anything. Some more Worm CDs, Stan. Man, the Worm. Bunch of Worms. Holy crap, he sent me Street Trash. And the Witches of King's Cross. Man, I've been needing Street Trash. I think this is a bunch more movies. Let's see. Yep, a bunch more movies. I think I saw. Wow. Okay, so I got a bunch more movies. Some more stuff. Oh. What is... Oh, it's taped. Where's my little cuchillo? What is this? Oh. What's his letter? I'll read the letter. This, oh yeah. He's gonna send me send me this Orboss tape. And he sent me all this stuff. See what that letter says. Alrighty, hey, I was going to write after I got the letter from you, but I haven't made it to the P.O. box, and I wanted to get this out to you soon. Here's that Ouroboros tape, some noisy experimental CDs by Worm in New York State. This documentary is good, The Witch of King's Cross. It's unbelievable the art this girl was doing in the 1940s and 50s. Also, here are some DVDs. Hope you find some keepers in the stack. Pass on whatever ones you want. Find them good homes. Looking forward to the Todd Zadnick tape. Please send 10 when it's out. Okay. Hope all is well. Your pal, Stan. So, what's this? Oh. It's an ad for Reality Impaired. I don't think I've ever shown one of these stickers. I get these from various people. So yeah, that's it for now. I really wanted to talk about that G.I. Joe story, and I was pretty buzzed when I started reading it, and I stopped reading it because I don't want this to end. So I'll do issue 27 soon, or I might do a movie review in between. But yeah, this is so good.